What's going on, everybody? Another video here. Today we're talking about another new engine. So, yes, as you can tell by the title of the video, I did purchase another engine. I purchased another ZENOAH G320. And if you're asking why another G320, the point is I've had great success with this engine. I absolutely love it. It's such a great bang for the buck. So, I was always on the fence about putting another engine in my MTXL. I was like, do I keep it stock or do I put a G320 in it? And I was always like, I don't know. Because I have one in my Low C5T and I have one in my HPI Baja 5SC. I was pondering about putting one in, happened to check DDM, pulled it up, and sure enough, as it was like a sign saying it's time to get it, the G320 was a deal of the day. So I'm like, okay, made up my mind, click add the shopping cart, coming home. So, but before I take the engine out of the box, I just want to touch on one thing. Some of you guys might know, and some of you guys might not know, and it doesn't matter either way. So, when you purchase a ZENOAH for your truck, depending on what platform you have, is going to determine what engine you need to get for your vehicle. If you have a Kraken or an HPI based vehicle, you can buy the engine as it sits. It doesn't matter. Nothing has to be changed. You can just buy it. When you buy the engine for a low C vehicle, it needs to have the shortened clutch housing. If you try to drop the engine in without the shortened clutch housing, your holes will not line up. The engine will actually be too long and it will not line up. So, when you purchase the engine, normally when you purchase a ZENOAH, it comes completely assembled. Clutch and everything already installed, ready to bolt in. So in the box, you still get your fuel line and your tool and a filter and all the other nonsense that you're going to need in case you need a new fuel line. It's always good to have spare. I am going to be putting larger diameter fuel line in my MTXL. I'm not going to be using this. So in the box, you will receive your machined clutch housing. It doesn't look like much if you put this next to a standard clutch housing from any ZENOAH. It is not that much longer, but it's shaved down to the right thickness to allow everything to bolt into your vehicle as you need it. So you still get everything ready to bolt in. It's just your clutch, your housing, and all your other bolts and screws just come in a bag that you would have to bolt onto your engine. So, inside the box, you have your engine as you would anywhere else. So, here's a ZENOAH G320. This engine has proved itself time and time again. It's more than capable to propel my 5T around without any incidents. It pushes that truck around great. On my Baja 5SC, it has no problem lifting the front tires off the ground. So the one other thing that I want to touch on, again, involves the type of vehicle you're going to be putting in. If you're putting this in a Baja, it does not matter whether this is a ZENOAH or a Chongyang fan cover. It does not matter. The chassis will accommodate both flywheels. If you're putting this in an MTXL or a DBXL, again, these holes in the fan cover do not matter, because on a DBXL or an MTXL, the engine mount bolts right here. The factory one is plastic. The screws come through the fan cover and they bolt onto the engine mount, or you can use the optional turtle racing one, the aluminum one. Either way, it's bolted on. These holes do not matter. If you're putting this in a Losi 5T, this needs to be a Chongyang style fan cover. The ZENOAH fan cover will not bolt into a 5T or a Roven LT or a King Motors X2. It will not line up with the holes. If your truck came with a factory engine, you can just simply remove the fan cover and bolt it onto your engine and you're good to go. If you say you bought a roller and you don't have an engine, when you purchase this engine, if you scroll down the DDM site, they have it. You can just purchase the optional Chongyang fan cover. I believe it's like 19 bucks. It's not terribly expensive. Other than that, this thing is ready to bolt in. The only thing you need to do with the Losi vehicles is on the upper shroud, you need to trim. You got to trim this back right here to allow your throttle linkage to come through. If you don't trim the upper cover back, your throttle linkage will just get stuck and won't bind. So that has to be trimmed back before you put your engine in your truck. Just take a pair. What I do is easy. Honestly, I take a pair of dikes or side cutters, and literally I just cut it just right above the engine head bolt and just clip it off. And it so far both on my I did the same thing on my Baja because it was binding a little bit. But I've put numerous engines in these vehicles between my trucks, my brother's trucks, friends' trucks. I've installed quite a few of these engines, and just a pair of side cutters has no problem. Just so far, I've never had an awkward cut or have it crack. So with that said, this is the setup for the MTXL. You know, I'm in no rush to get this thing installed. Once I start installing it, you know, I'll show you guys the completed thing. But at this time, right now, it's just the engine, and whenever I start putting it in, we'll release another video. But until then, we'll catch you guys in the next video, and see y'all later. Later, guys.